if we, connect all this to the bigger picture, it's just incredible how these tales from ancient myths right up to modern creations offer such a rich reflection.
What new yokai are we as a society maybe inadvertently creating in our own world today? All right, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating, sometimes quirky, sometimes pretty terrifying world of Japanese folklore.
Right.
And we're focusing on two central figures, Yokai and Yurei.
And we've got a fantastic stack of sources to guide us here. We're going to pull apart the subtle but really significant distinctions between these beings,
Okay.
trace their rich histories, and spotlight some of the most captivating figures among them.
So the mission is?
The mission really is to distill those crucial insights, so you walk away with a truly nuanced understanding of why these creatures have remained such a potent force in Japanese culture for centuries.
Okay, so let's start there. For an audience that probably has a general idea of yokai, maybe thinking, traditional monsters, spirits.
Right, the common perception.
Is that too narrow? How do our sources really define them?
It's a good starting point, but yeah, often too narrow. Our sources describe yokai as much more encompassing. They're human transcending strange phenomena, or maybe the mysterious power behind non-daily events. Sometimes just creatures that defy normal explanation. You might hear other names too, like Ayakashi or Mononoke.
Right, those terms pop up.
What's really crucial to grasp is this ancient belief in Japan, this idea that spirits, or kami, reside in pretty much all natural objects, living or non-living.
Everything has a spirit, basically.
In a sense, yeah. And yokai often embodied these unexplained forces. They even sometimes shared roles with gods, acting as explanations for, say, baffling disasters.
Ah, okay, so it was a way to make sense of a world full of mystery.
Exactly, a framework for the unexplainable.
That's a powerful framework. So, if that's yokai, this broad category, how does that contrast with yurei? Because I think for a lot of us, those lines can feel, well, blurry.
That's precisely where the distinction gets so fascinating, yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike yokai, which can be anything from, like, whimsical to terrifying.
Right.
Yurei are very specifically defined. They're the spirits of dead people, or souls that couldn't find peace.
Okay, dead people. Got it.
And this leads directly to a crucial visual difference. Yokai can be depicted as cute, funny, even just odd.
Like in some modern anime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yurei, they're almost universally portrayed as eerie, unsettling, sometimes pretty gruesome.
And why is that? Why the specific look?
Their appearance directly reflects why they're still around. They're tethered to the living world by these intense worldly attachments.
Attachments like?
Revenge, deep obsession, maybe an unresolved grudge. That emotional weight, it manifests in their chilling visual form.
That makes perfect sense. So their look is like a window into their unresolved torment.
You could say that, yeah.
Now, here's something interesting. While yokai were popping up in art pretty early, yurei seem to take their time getting a visual representation.
That's right. It's a curious historical gap.
When did they finally start showing up visually, and why the delay, do we think?
Well, yurei definitely showed up in literature first, way back in the late Heian period.
Oh.
But if you look at the illustrated picture scrolls, the imaki from the Kamakura and Muromachi periods, yokai are everywhere, visually fleshed out. But yurei, noticeably absent from those visual stories.
So where did they break through visually?
It really started in no place. They were depicted there as these sorrowful, often vengeful spirits.
Ah, the theater.
Exactly. And from there, the tradition of Kaidan, ghost stories, really started to take root and grow.
So the stage was set, literally. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the Edo period sounds like it was the true game changer for yurei. Like it was for so much Japanese culture.
Absolutely. The Edo period was an explosion for yurei. Kaidan Banashi, these ghost story gatherings, became immensely popular.
Everyone loved a good ghost story.
Oh, definitely. And a pivotal figure in cementing the yurei's iconic image was the artist
Maruyama Ōkyo.
Yeah, right. What was his contribution?
His depiction of a yurei, the disheveled hair, pale face, white clothes, there's a sort of unsettling sensuality, yet it feels realistic enough to be present. That became the definitive standard. This era also gave us literary masterpieces like Monogatari, Botandoro, Yotsuya Kaidan,
Famous ghost stories.
right, which really cemented these spectral figures in the public mind. And naturally, this led to a boom in Yurei, in inkwash paintings and Ukiyoe prints by tons of Edo artists.
It's amazing how one artist can literally shape how a whole culture sees something. So what does this mean for how we recognize a Yurei today? Our sources mention 4 distinct conditions.
4 key things that create that unmistakable presence.
Let's go through them first.
First, they haunt specific people. Unlike some yukai who might just cause general trouble,
Right.
Yurei are driven by a personal connection, tied to their unresolved attachments. They only appear to those linked to their desires or grudges.
And they stop once the issue is resolved.
Critically, yes. They disappear once their wishes are fulfilled or their grudges are somehow settled. It's a very personal, very focused haunting.
Okay. And the second condition. Maybe the most visually iconic. They have no legs.
Ah, yes. The legless spirits.
This is so striking. Our sources mention theories, divine spirits floating. Buddhist Raigzu images, maybe hell's punishment. But what's the core impact of seeing a legless spirit?
Well, it's about ultimate detachment, isn't it? A profound sense of the otherworldly.
Detached.
A spirit without legs is, untethered, not bound by earthly movement like we are. The Raiguzu link is interesting. Those are depictions of deities descending, often shown floating.
Symbolizing transcendence.
Right, but with Yurei, it kind of flips. It's transcendence born from suffering, a soul so consumed by its grudge it can't even touch the earth it haunts.
Wow.
It visually embodies this state of perpetual, ungrounded torment, reinforces their complete separation from the living.
That's incredibly insightful. It's not just a weird visual state, it's a physical sign of their spiritual state.
Exactly.
Okay, condition 3, what about their actual appearance, face and hair?
Right, third, they appear in their living form, but, and this is key, specifically with horror-inducing features.
Designed to scare.
Totally. Designed to maximize fright. We're talking disheveled hair, maybe missing patches, or eyes that are swollen, empty.
Right. The uncanny valley effect.
Precisely. The familiar made horrifyingly unfamiliar, aimed right at unsettling you.
And finally, number 4, their pose.
Ah, yes. Their signature pose. Hand in bosom or fudo karode. That distinctive, unsettling gesture.
And Maruyama Ōkyo again.
He's credited with originating that pose too, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of Koharu Koheiji, the fictional kabuki actor.
Vaguely.
After he's murdered, he returns as the Yurei to haunt his killer. He perfectly embodies all these characteristics. He's a quintessential Yurei, not a yukai.
Got it. That distinction is clear now. So this raises an important question, though. If Yurei had this specific sort of delayed visual emergence, what about yukai? Their history seems to stretch back even further.
Oh, much further, absolutely. Their history goes way back.
How far?
You can find descriptions of, well, strange phenomena and creatures like oni demons or ogres and great snakes in really ancient historical texts, like the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki.
Wow, foundational texts.
Exactly. And mysterious tales also appeared in Heian-era collections, like Kanjaku Monogatari-shu.
But, and this is key despite these rich stories,
No pictures.
visual depictions of yukai were still notably absent during these early periods. They were more like concepts or forces than fully realized figures you could draw.
So when did they finally get their close-up? Sounds like the stories came first, then the pictures followed much later.
That's right. Yukai started being depicted visually in picture scrolls and otogizushi. Those are like illustrated fairy tales during the Middle Ages.
Okay, Middle Ages.
And if you look at the Muromachi period, Hyaki, Yaki, and Maki, that famous night parade of 100 demons scroll,
I've seen images from that, yeah.
the yukai in it,
Yeah.
they actually look almost, well, adorable as pets, as one source puts it.
Really?
Yeah, they're often shown playfully approaching weak humans. It's a far cry from pure terror. It shows how their role in people's imagination was already shifting, evolving.
That's a huge shift. From primal fear to whimsical companions.
Sort of, yeah. In some depictions, at least. And just like Yurei, the Edo period was another massive turning point for yukai, too, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A parallel explosion of creativity and popular culture.
How so?
Those Hikomonogatari ghost story gatherings we mentioned, they often mixed Chinese novels with existing Japanese folklore, and that fueled the creation of countless new yukai stories and designs.
Ah, so the storytelling craze helped both.
Definitely. And yukai became super popular motifs for things like toys, Shigoroku board games, Karuta playing cards.
Bringing them into everyday life.
Exactly. And the big Ukiyoe artists, like Hokusai and Kuniyoshi, gave them even more concrete, dynamic visual forms.
Kuniyoshi. Didn't he do a famous spider yukai piece?
Right. His Minamoto Raiku's mansion and their Earth Spider making yukai, hugely popular. It was even rumored, to be political satire at the time.
Interesting. And they didn't stop evolving there, did they? How have yukai changed in more modern times?
This modern transformation is really insightful, I think, about Japanese culture itself. As society industrialized, became more secular, the need for yukai as direct explanations for the unknown kind of diminished.
Made less sense scientifically, maybe.
Perhaps. It shows that even as that direct fear might wane, the cultural need for these symbolic figures embodying our anxieties and fascinations, it's still deeply ingrained. They're still being born from our collective imagination.
That's a brilliant point. They're not just dusky relics. They're living, breathing representations of our changing fears.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've nailed down the definitions, the history. Now, let's talk about the big names, the heavy hitters among yukai. Our sources mention a classification system.
Yes, this is where it gets really interesting for sorting them out. Yukai researcher Tada Katsumi defined Japan's three great yukai primarily as species.
Species, okay. Who are they?
Oni, Kappa, and Tengu.
The classics.
Exactly. Oni are your quintessential humanoid figures, horns, fangs, maybe carrying clubs. They evolved from ancient figures like Yamonzu Shikomi and the Kojiki. They represent general demonic forces.
Okay.
Kappa are those water dwellers, childlike, green, famous for the water-filled dish, the sara, on their head.
Which has to stay full, right?
Right, that's their power source. They're seen sometimes as water gods, sometimes mischievous, sometimes dangerous. Fallen gods, maybe.
Fascinating. And Tengu?
Tengu. Their origins trace back to Chinese texts like the Shanhai Jing, a bird-like monster initially. But in Japan, they merged with beliefs about mountain spirits and ascetics, the Yamabushi.
So they became the figures we know now.
Yeah, often depicted as fierce Yamabushi monks, red faces, long noses, which wasn't always the case. Sometimes it was a beacon holding those feather fans. Associated with mountains, martial arts, sometimes seen as disruptive tricksters, sometimes protectors.
So those are the big three species. What about the real villains, the ones known for causing serious harm?
Right. Then we have Japan's three great evil yukai, notorious for their destructive impact in folklore.
Okay, who makes this list?
First, Shutenduji, a really formidable Oni.
What's his story?
Legend says he led a band of Oni, kidnapped youths and princesses in the capital, Kyoto. He was eventually tracked down to his lair on Shiyama.
And defeated?
Yes, defeated by a group of famous warriors, including Minamoto no Raiku, who used poison sap to subdue him before taking him down.
Classic hero tale. Okay, number two.
Number two is Tamamo no Mei, who is actually a Kyubi no Kitsune, a nine-tailed fox spirit.
A fox.
Yes, a very powerful one. She famously posed as a stunningly beautiful and intelligent consort to Emperor Toba.
In disguise.
Exactly. Wreaking havoc from within the court, causing illness and misfortune. Eventually, her true fox identity was revealed by an exorcist using a mirror, and she fled.
And was she defeated?
Yes, she was hunted down and eventually defeated in the plains of Nasuno. Her spirit is said to have become a cursed stone, the Seshuseki, that killed anything that touched it, though recent reports say the stone actually broke.
Whoa. Okay, and the third great evil yukai.
This one's different. It's Emperor Sotoku, who transformed into a great Tengu.
An emperor became a yukai.
Yes, a truly tragic story. He was the 75th emperor, but got caught up in succession disputes leading to the Hogan Rebellion. He lost and was exiled to Sanuki.
What happened in exile?
He tried to find solace in Buddhism, copying scriptures to send to the court, but they rejected them, fearing they were cursed. This rejection broke him.
Oh, wow.
Legend says he bit off his own tongue, wrote a curse in his own blood, vowing to become a demon to overthrow the country. He stopped cutting his nails and hair, and reportedly transformed into a terrifying Utengu, a great Tengu, while still alive.
That's horrifying.
And what's really fascinating, key distinction here, unlike Shutenduji and Tamamo no Mai, who were ultimately defeated,
Yeah.
the Tengu form of Emperor Sotoku, it's said to still be undefeated, and enduring, unconquered, and very vengeful spirit, or a great tengu.
That's a chilling detail. An enduring, angry force. Wow. Okay, now for maybe a bit of a rapid-fire tour. Some other truly memorable yukai. You might recognize some or be surprised by their quirks.
Let's do it. There's so many fascinating ones.
Okay, start us off. How about one that seems almost mundane?
How about Ukiyoe? Found nationwide, apparently. This yukai just washes azuki beans by riverbanks.
Washes beans!
Yeah, you hear this shoki-shoki sound, like scrubbing or rustling, often depicted as a small, maybe slightly grotesque figure, sometimes like a child with a disability, but supposedly skilled at counting beans.
You hear that at night by a river. Maybe a little unnerving.
Could be.
Okay, back to the scary ones. Out at sea.
Out at sea, you might encounter the umibusu, a giant, dark, monk-like figure rising from the waves.
How big?
Legend says he grows larger if you look up at him in fear, but might disappear if you manage to look down or ignore him. One tale even says one stayed on land for 3 days. Really embodies the terror of the unknown depths.
Yikes. Okay, from the sea to something. Well, stranger. Fabric.
From Kagoshima, yeah, the Itan Momen. Literally means one tan, about 10.6 meters of cotton. It's a flying strip of white cotton cloth, maybe 10 meters long by 30 centimeters wide.
And it just flies around.
It attacks people, wraps around their head and neck to suffocate them. Simple, but effective and weird.
Just a killer piece of fabric. Okay, how about yukai tied to nature itself, like trees or mountains?
Kodana are a good example.
Yeah.
Tree spirits. They're sometimes believed to be the source of echoes in the mountains Yamabiko.
The mountain answering back.
Exactly, like the trees themselves are speaking. They're linked to the ancient Shinto tree god Kukunochi no Kami. Respect the trees, basically.
Love how these embody natural phenomena. What about a familiar animal that changes?
Cats, of course. The nekomata.
The two-tailed cat.
Often, yeah. There are 2 main types. Old pet cats that transform after living a long time, gaining powers like speech or walking on 2 legs. And then wilder, perhaps more dangerous, mountain-dwelling nekomata, often depicted with 2 tails.
Okay. And one that's just odd. An intruder.
That sounds like Maruyama, often depicted as a mysterious old man with an elongated head.
What does he do?
He just walks into people's houses completely unnoticed, usually during busy evenings. Then he sits down, has some tea, maybe smokes their tobacco, and acts like he owns the place.
He doesn't haunt them or attack.
Nope, just makes himself at home. The sheer audacity is almost more unsettling than a monster.
That is weirdly creepy. Okay, then we have some truly bizarre composite creatures, right? Patchwork monsters.
Definitely. The famous Nu from the Hike Monogatari is a classic. It cried in this eerie bird-like way and made the emperor sick.
What did it look like?
A real mix. Monkey's face, tanuki's body, tiger's limbs, and a snake for a tail. A true chimera of fear. Eventually shot down by the archer Minamoto no Yarimasa.
Wow. And another obstacle type?
In northern Kyushu mainly, there's the Norikabe, an invisible wall.
Invisible.
Yeah, it suddenly appears and blocks your path at night, making travelers lost. You can't go around it. Some say tapping the lower part makes it vanish. Similar stories of impeding walls exist elsewhere, like in Oida.
Frustrating and scary. Okay, finally, one that's actually quite modern but has become really iconic.
That would be the Gashadakuro, the giant starving skeleton.
Relatively recent, you said.
Yeah, mid-Showa period, really popularized in like 1960s children's magazines and yukai encyclopedias, not ancient folklore.
What's its deal?
It's supposed to be a gigantic skeleton, maybe 15 times human size, formed from the collected bones and grudges of people who starved to death or weren't buried properly.
Really?
It walks around late at night, making this rattling gachi-gachi sound, hence the name. If it finds you, it supposedly crushes you and drinks your blood.
Yikes. And the famous Kuniyoshi print.
The famous Ukiyoe by Utagawa Kuniyoshi, showing a giant skeleton menacing Mitsukuni. That print inspired the modern Gashadokuro yukai, but the print itself depicted a different story. It shows how older art can get reinterpreted and fuel new folklore later on.
Fascinating connection.
If we, connect all this to the bigger picture, it's just incredible how these tales, from ancient myths right up to modern creations, offer such a rich reflection.
Reflection of what?
Of Japanese culture's relationship with the unknown, with nature, with death, even just the human condition itself, whether they bring wealth or terror or just a good shiver down your spine.
Yeah.
Yokai and Yurei offer this profound window into a fascinating, constantly evolving world of belief and imagination.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Perhaps the next time you encounter a strange story, or maybe hear an odd sound in the night, feel an inexplicable chill. You'll find yourself wondering, is this a yukai, a yue, or maybe Something entirely new, something being born right now from the anxieties, the creativity of our collective imagination.
That makes you think.
What new yukai are we as a society maybe inadvertently creating in our own world today?